If only my NFL takes were as good as my NBA takes.
Yeah, this is
some of my
why
NBA takes have been surprisingly good.
this is why you're the basketball guy.
I'm not the basketball guy. I just get lucky saying some dumb stuff. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-Star Trio podcast. As always, I am your host, Nick, joined, as always, by my co-host, Luke.
How's it going?
And our moderator, Tori, could not be here today for personal reasons. She will be back next week. So, Luke, let's get this started. Let's kick it off. Kick it off? Is that what I say?
All right.
I usually say, hey, Tori, kick this off.
Yeah, this is definitely not our second time doing this. Let's go.
I hate computers. Apologies if we seem a little bit out of shape. We had done almost the entire first part of the segment, and my laptop died. Or, well, reset. Okay.
Anyways.
First segment. NBA. Luke, yet again, who are your top 5 players in the NBA?
Yet again, in no particular order. I'm leading off with LeBron, the king of the LA failures.
That joke was funnier the second time.
I know, but the viewers don't know. So I'm saying it again. Yes, LeBron, arguably the best player of all time. He's the king. The Lakers have fallen off after their one win. You know, it's kind of, it feels like they're on the downhill spiral, but I'll still give the nod. LeBron's one of the best players in the league just at any given point. So LeBron.
My player number 5 is Kevin Durant. What are injuries, man? Kevin Durant doesn't care. He gets them all the time and he comes back and drops 30 for no reason against the best defense in the league. I want to put Kevin Durant higher. He would be my number 2 if he wasn't always in the NBA. You got to be there to play. If you're not there, you're not playing. It doesn't matter. The story of the Brooklyn Nets, Ben Simmons, but Kevin Durant, amazing guy, amazing scorer. His defense didn't look amazing when he came back, which is injury happens. He still came out and dropped 30. What a beast, man! What a beast.
KD is also on my list for pretty much the same reason. No injury. What's an injury? He's part machine. I'm pretty sure he's a Terminator actually. So he didn't get injured. But yeah, KD, insane player. He's putting up 30 for really no good reason. Playing through injuries that have derailed other people's careers. It's insane. He's insane.
Well, talking about ones we have the same. My number 4, LeBron James. I tend to value guys who can do all around, who can play really well, score, defense, everything like that, rebounding, assists, playmaking. LeBron gives you all that. Not as great as defense as he used to, but he still does great playmaking, scores at a high margin. His team sucks. He can't carry a team like he used to. Still think he's the greatest basketball player of all time because he's 37 years old and we're expecting him to carry a team. Can't blame the guy that he can. He's old. Man, myth, legend, LeBron James, man.
More of a myth or a man at this point than the legend part. But my next player, just in this group of 5, is Steph Curry. Obviously, he's the best shooter in the league, breaking records, broke a record at this point, but he's a specialist. He's what I think of when I think specialist. He does his job any point, anywhere, and he does it better than anybody else in the league.
I think it was Steph Curry. He's actually my number 6 player. The scoring is amazing. You say what you want. The defense has cooled off since the beginning of the season. He really doesn't do much else at an elite level. He is absolutely the highest level of elite scoring, elite shooting. Golden State has kind of fallen off, like I said they would. They cooled off. Team's kind of not fitting together as well as it did at the beginning of the season. He's a good playmaker. He's a good defender. He can rebound. He doesn't do any of those at really an elite level. When I look at players, I like to look at guys that are elite. What I think about Curry and his shooting, I feel like we can get that scoring from guys like Kevin Durant. There are other guys in the league that can kind of do what Curry's doing. Not the efficiency that Curry does it, not at all the efficiency. But, I like guys that tend to able to do things like you can shoot, you can play make, you can shoot, you can rebound, you can shoot and defend. Now, if we want to talk about a guy that can shoot, rebound, and defend, My number 3, Joel Embiid. Man's been on tear, man. He gets all the free throws he wants, man. He'll end a game with anywhere between 9 and 25 free throws. It's ridiculous what this man can do at his size. I wish he would stay healthy, but part of the issue with all his free throws is that it causes him lots of injuries. But when he's on the court, he's a game changer. He can score, he can shoot from all levels, he can defend really well, he rebounds well, he can get you 5 to 6 assists a game if he has to. How he's been able to carry this team, especially with Harden there. I just want to say Harden left what was supposed to be the biggest big three in the NBA to go to the biggest big three in the NBA: Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, Joel Embiid. But man's a beast. He's a beast he's the best paint scorer in the NBA. Nothing else to it, man.
I hate how the NBA changed the foul rules and it hurt Harden and benefited Embiid, and now they're both on the same team.
Yep.
So
and
it
they're
doesn't even
both getting a
matter.
ton of fouls.
And it doesn't even matter. All right. Embiid is actually on my list too. He's the MVP front runner for a reason. At his size, at his athleticism, just as a unit, that's a dude. That's an athlete.
That's Chad right there. That's the MVP right there. My number 2, I see this guy and Joel Embiid as like 2A and 2B. I still don't think they're better than the best player that I have on this list, but you can flip them around. You go back and forth, which is what everyone in the league does with these two. Nikola Jokic, probably the best offensive center in the league. He's like second or third in rebounding right now. Elite playmaker, really good scorer, shoots well from all levels of the field. Man's a beast. Like there's nothing to it. He's gotten more athletic. He's moving better. He's shooting incredibly well. He playmakes. My only issue with him and why I would not put him at the MVP and put Embiid over him, his team sucks. Like they really do. I don't know if you heard, Will Barton yesterday broke the Nuggets all-time three-point record. Like he is now, Will Barton is number 1 in threes for the Nuggets history. He just passed J.R. Smith, which, God, how bad is your franchise when your top 2 guys are Will Barton and J.R. Smith shooting 3? It's not his fault. His team can't stay healthy. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon is in and out of the lineup all the time. Jokic is a beast. He really is. But him and Joel, to me, are 2A, 2B. I just can't put one over the other. It's just kind of how it is.
All right. Before I do my last one, I want to mention actually Jokic and Luka because they both kind of occupy the same headspace for me. Where like they kind of do what Embiid does, just on a worse team, and arguably to a lesser extent. Although I don't know if that's the right term to use.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luka and Jokic, like you said, they carry their teams. They do, like most of these other guys on the group, they do whatever they're needed to do whenever they're needed to do it. They're crazy. Like as units, like Embiid is, their athleticism, their playmaking, their IQ, up there with the best.
The only reason I don't have Luka in my top 5 is this year his shooting from 3% is down. It's worse than it's been in his career, or last season. I think it was just down from. His mid-range and his finishing, though, are both higher. He's second in the league in turnovers behind James Harden, I think. He's a great playmaker, amazing rebounder. I love Luka. I love my Mavs. Man, I love my Mavs. Watching him is always fun. His team is not very good. He makes his team look better. The only reason I haven't buying guys like Kevin Durant is because Kevin Durant's team, it's terrible. It's not Kevin Durant's fault that team sucks. And when he plays, they play really well. Like they were the one seed.
Is it Luka's fault that Dallas is bad?
No, but Luka has, I think, better. I think Dinwiddie, Jalen Brunson are better than who even is on the Brooklyn? Who's even on the Nets?
They have Seth Curry now.
Yeah, but before that, who did they really have? Like at the beginning of this season, when he was carrying the team, they have like Bruce Brown. I remember his name. Oh my Jesus. Kevin Durant, Bruce Brown, Dragic, and Drummond and Curry. Those 3 are starters. 3 guys that they just got. Curry, Dragic, and Drummond are now starters. Joe Johnson, LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty Mills, Cam Thompson, Blake Griffin,
Aldridge,
Duke Jr., Edward Sharpe, however the heck you say that name. I hate the spelling.
Sharpie.
Sharpe. I don't know if it's
Sharpie.
Francie, or just Sharp.
It's Sharpie.
Oh my God, I didn't my phone. It's right under my mic too. But I love Luca. But what's your number one?
A number one, just out of this group of five, for pure singular player athleticism is the Greek Freak.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, my number one
Yeah.
as well. Amazing offense, great defense, improved shooting, great rebounder, amazing
Athleticism, intelligence, playmaking.
What a player, man!
Oh, and
Dude,
he's super tall.
It's almost. I think he's like 6'11", 7 foot, depending on who measures him. Man, what a guy! Man's a beast. He really is. It doesn't matter who he plays; he's gonna put up his points. He's gonna get his rebounds. He's an amazing defender. Might win DPOY and MVP this year. Man, what a player, man!
Literally a freak. Like literally a freak. I don't understand, man.
All right, so my top five going down the list: Giannis, Jokic, Joel, LeBron, Kevin Durant. Special shout out to guys like Luka, Steph for me. Great players. DeMar DeRozan this year is having an amazing season. Still think his season's kind of overhyped because everyone thought he was going to do terrible and he's going to be like the worst contract in the NBA. But playing at an elite level, I just don't think that they're that top five players whenever you look at when these guys play, what they do, how they do it. But
All right, my top five in no particular order was LeBron, Durant, Embiid, Curry, and Giannis, with shout outs to Luka and Jokic. It took us about an hour to get through one topic.
all right, next segment. However, Tori does that. This year, there have been some disappointing teams. There have been some surprise teams that are doing really well. But I want to know, who is the most disappointing team for you this year?
I feel like when it comes to most disappointing teams, I'm not going to be saying anything new. The Nets. I don't care that the Nets suck. I'm happy that the Nets suck. But as far as what their big three offered the league and their fans at the beginning of the season, this has been far and away the most disappointing team this year.
My team, also a New York team, just not the Nets. The New York Knicks. Playoff team last year, considered the best defense in the league. How they've managed to not fit together. The defense is bad. Randall took a step back. The team just kind of fell apart on itself this year. They're getting beat constantly. They're not playing well. I will say, RJ Barrett's having a breakout year, and nobody's saying anything about it. It's amazing how that draft class is going outside of Zion. Like John Morant's an MVP candidate. RJ Barrett's playing out of his mind. He's gone like 4 or 5 straight games with 30 plus. What a team, man. The Knicks are really bad this year. They've been super disappointing for me. Last year seemed like Knicks fans were finally going to get their big, good team. New York's going to be a sports mecca. They're going to have the Nets and the Knicks, and it was going to be so good for the team. No.
No.
New York cannot have anything nice. It's so disappointing when stuff like that happens.
Well, speaking of John Morant, my least disappointing team this year has been the Grizzlies. And the only reason Morant, I didn't mention him for top 5 or a mention, is because I want to see him do it again. He's put up career highs this season, and they've still got games to play. But I want to see him do it again next year. I want to see if he can replicate that, because his numbers were already pretty good his first 2 seasons. But now he's like hit another level.
He's hit that year 3 jump.
Exactly. I want to see him do it again. But as far as the Grizzlies go as a team, their rise behind Morant has been pretty much historic. Like, it's incredible. They're so much fun to watch. They've still got potential to grow and potential to win, which I think is a big aspect of their team. So my least disappointing team, Memphis.
Couldn't have said it better myself, but I'm going to try, because my least disappointing team was also Memphis.
Yep.
I said it at the beginning of the season, John Morant was going to have a breakout year. The Grizzlies were going to do really well. They were my underdog sleeper team. And yet again, I was right. If only my NFL takes were as good as my NBA takes, because
Yeah, this is
some of my
why
NBA takes have been surprisingly good.
this is why you're the basketball guy.
I'm not the basketball guy. I just get lucky saying some dumb stuff. Uh, Grizzlies have been really good. John Morant took that big jump. I was super hype on him last year. Still super big on him. He wasn't my top five because he's a lot like Steph for me, except he doesn't shoot as well. Amazing finishing ability. Like he's top five with like 4 or 5 other centers in the league for field goal percentage at the rim. He's a really underrated defender. He's not a crazy good playmaker. He's not a crazy good rebounder. He gives you like 25, 6, and 6 a game, I believe. Reminds me of lots of prime Derrick Rose. My issue is he's always hurt. He always rolling his ankle, landing awkwardly. The guy's got to learn to land or he's going to have a D Rose career. I do not, it scares me. Every time he goes up for a dunk, it's at first like, ooh, and then I see him land. I'm like, ah. It's excuse me. It's a big hype, and then it just falls off.
Dude, we need to get him like
so panicky.
We need to get him rain boots or something that go all the way up to his knees so he doesn't roll his ankles.
We need to have guys on the sideline like pads. So every time he goes up for a dunk, he just slides it under him.
All right. How does Story do this? Next segment. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, she goes.
I have no clue.
All right, boys. Pause. Next segment.
All right, and for everyone watching the YouTube, no, my camera angle did not just change. Your eyes just changed. All right. NCAA basketball. Luke, it's March. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
The time of year where everyone goes nuts for no reason.
This came around quick.
Biggest playoff situation in the world. Whew, it'll be a fun time of year. Fun time of year.
I feel like it was just November.
Luke, March Madness. Who do you think is going to win it all this year? It's a huge.
I think.
Always crazy. What's going to happen?
I think it is legitimately Gonzaga's year to lose. They are heavy favorites, like 20% better odds than anybody else favorites. And I know they lost to Baylor last year in the championship game. But I think this is the year they run a revenge train. This is their redemption arc for that loss. I think Zags are the team to beat easily.
See, I have Gonzaga as my number one team as well. They're led by the number one pick in the league, or well, my number one pick, Chet Holmgren, however you say his name, man. I have him going. I think he's going to do really good for the team. I think the team's going to be really good. I think they're going to be able to make a very strong run. They're the number one seed. They're a great team. They're a great young team, well coached. Gonzaga does this every single year. Super hyped for them and how it's going to work out.
See, maybe Baylor makes it back and upsets them again.
We'll see. I have hope in Baylor, but it's a Big 12 team that's not Oklahoma, so I never have any trust in them. We're talking about the team that we think is definitely going to win it all, but what team do you think is going to make a splash, just cause chaos in everyone's bracket for March Madness?
Well, speaking of Oklahoma, I legitimately think that the Sooners, although they're not ranked nearly as highly as they were last year, have a chance to make some upsets. They're a strong team. They've shown the ability to get hot at the right times and make a push to upset higher ranked opponents. They've done it in the regular season. They've lost a few close games like that. I think if there was ever a time for OU to hit their stride and make the upsets that they've shown the ability to make, be March Madness.
Are they even in the tournament right now?
Yeah, for sure.
Oklahoma's like a 500 team right now. The Big 12 is freaking tough, man. It's really tough this year.
Obviously, there's no set schedule or bracket out right now. But I'm pretty sure they are.
Well, they have the bracket projections out right now for like team rankings and everything. I'm looking through it. I am not seeing Oklahoma on any of these brackets.
I couldn't even find a bracket projection.
Oh,
Where are you looking?
I'm on ESPN. NCAA bracketology projected. They have all NCAA. The ESPN app has all sorts of stuff for this right now.
Oh well, I don't have the ESPN app.
Okay. Well, my team that I think is going to upset and cause some chaos. So I will say, Oklahoma's a great team. They really are. We played super close games against really good teams. The Big 12 is freaking tough. Baylor,
They are. They're really tough.
TCU's in the bracket right now. They're really good this year. Kansas State's a good team. Big 12's tough. It's tough, tough, tough. My team, I think, will make a splash. Iowa. They've won 7 of their last 8. They've rose up really well. They're currently the number 6 seed in the bracket. You go into the thing like March Madness with a full head of steam, winning 7 out of 8. You go in there winning like 10 out of your last 11. You carry that through the bracket. You can do a lot of chaos and a lot of stuff going on. I was looking through the bracket. I was looking at teams that could upset. They're that team that I'm looking at right now that could be really, really surprising good. College basketball is really tough just because of how many teams, how big everything is. Oh man, it's tough to keep up with everything, which is why I'm still happy that ESPN does it for me.
I literally don't know how March Madness works.
It's literally record. It's just your record, strength of schedule, stuff like that. Oklahoma had the strongest strength of schedule for the end of the year. Going into our last 8 games, we had the highest, the hardest schedule in all of college basketball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were just super unlucky. We played Kansas twice, Baylor twice. All right, moving on to that.
We'll see.
I talked about this a bit earlier when I talked about Gonzaga, but as I've said before on the pod, I don't care about college sports. I care about the draft and who goes to pro level. So
they're all just numbers to you.
Oh, well, that's how it is. Cold, heartless facts. Luke, who do you think is going to go number 1 in the draft? There seems to be like a 3-way race between these picks, and everything seems to be going on. Said it earlier. I think it's going to be Chet Holmgren. Holmgren. Can't say this guy's name right to save my life. Probably should have looked that up, but I'm not professional, so who cares?
Trust me, I know all about being not professional on this.
Center at Gonzaga. Great rebounder, great scorer. I look at who currently has number 1 pick. It's the Magic. It could very easily be the Rockets soon. The Magic, Mo Bamba is not the answer. Everyone thought he was going to be. He's not been that guy. The Rockets, who knows what you're going to get out of Christian Wood. Great player, I think. Very underrated. I think he'd be better at a power forward spot than he would be at a center spot. And honestly, I think he might be better getting traded. He's not getting any younger, and he's not really improving. So make a move for him. Get what you got. But I think Chet will be the number 1 pick. There's also the power forward at Duke, I believe. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. He's considered the number 1 pick currently, the favorite. I don't know. I don't trust Duke guys. They tend to either fail out or not be amazing. Like RJ Barrett, great player. He struggled a bit in the beginning. Zion, who knows when he's going to play. JJ Redick, net player. Grayson Allen, hated by the Bulls franchise. Duke guys got a lot of questions for me, but we'll see.
So my predicted number 1, because I think there's a good chance Orlando gets the first pick instead of Houston, because they're like half a game behind. It's really bad. But, I could see Jabari Smith going number 1 overall to New Orleans.
That's his name.
Yeah, power forward. We know how the Pelicans have fared with their recent power forward, but NBADraft.net actually rates Smith 100 overall. He is a dude, and for what I can tell, he seems like the perfect fit for someone like Orlando.
I agree with that, and I'm just not as big on him as I am on Chet, mostly just because I've heard more about Chet. I'm going to keep referring. I'm not going to say his last name. I can never pronounce it anyway. But we'll just see how it goes. Dude, pro drafting is weird, especially with basketball because of how the lottery works and everything. You never know what team could get another number 1 pick and who needs what. Because you're right. I mean, even like the Pelicans. Heck, if the Pelicans get the number 1 pick, they might draft a power forward because they might trade Zion because he doesn't want to play for them. So, last segment. The Luke segment. Luke's been wanting to do this segment for a while. I gave him full reign over the plan for it. And I followed that up by not making any notes because I ran out of time. So I'm going to be winging this here. Luke.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
College.
Look at this.
Baseball.
2 college segments and I did mess up my notes. All right. College baseball. first thing we're going to be doing is reviewing the top 10 from the latest D1 ranking. It was released on February 27th, and as far as I know, there hadn't been a new one. So I'll go through the top 10 really quickly. It's Texas, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Vanderbilt, Stanford, LSU, NC State, Mississippi State, and Florida State. Now, Texas and Ole Miss are still undefeated. Arkansas and Oklahoma State picked up a win and a loss. Vanderbilt picked up a win. Stanford picked up 2 losses. LSU actually picked up 2 wins. NC State picked up 2 losses. Mississippi State picked up a win and a loss. And Florida State picked up 1 loss. So, with that being said, what do you think the next top 10 rankings will look like? Which of these teams do you think will fall out?
Well, considering I can't get anything on ESPN for college baseball because
I know they just don't
ESPN
talk about college baseball.
hates college baseball. So I still think, as much as it hurts me to ever put Texas on top as an OU fan, still think they'll be the number 1 team. All I've heard about them is that they're playing really well. I watched recently in one of our sports group chats, we got a message from a huge Texas fan. That pitch was so far outside. If that's
It
the
was
kind of
so
calls
far
they're getting,
outside.
if that's the kind of calls they're getting, then I think Texas will continue. I think Ole Miss will always be up there as long as they're undefeated as well. Teams like Oklahoma State, I'm interested to see what they can do. TCU's 6-1 last when you sent me this record sheet, so I'm not sure how they are now. Keeping up, I'm a huge baseball guy, but keeping up with college baseball is so tough for me because, as I've said before, I'm looking at the draft. MLB draft, who cares? You draft the guy number 1, you'll probably never hear from him again. Man,
See, baseball is easier for me to keep up with than basketball is.
Yeah, because you play that. You're a college baseball
Yeah, that might
athlete.
be. Yeah, that might be part of it.
I
but-
literally cannot find anything on ESPN. I'm finding stuff about UFC 272, PGA Tour.
Go to d1baseball.com.
Oh my God, you're sending me to different.
Anyways, back to this. I think LSU makes a big leap in the next rankings. Last I updated this, they picked up 2 wins in a row. One of them was over OU in extra innings. I'll talk about it later, but it went into extra innings and they picked up a win. I think LSU jumps up to like 4, maybe 4-3-ish. And I think you see Florida State falling out. I think you possibly see Mississippi State or NC State falling out. And Oklahoma State is weird. I think they drop, but I think they stay in the top 10 for now. Picked up 2 wins and a loss. That's a net positive, but I think they fall a little bit.
All right, so I'm at the website you just sent me. I'm kind of like skimming through this very quickly. I'm very happy. There's a whole section called prospects, so I'm just gonna looking at the important stuff here. Who's the rookie? Tyler something, the rookie who hit 8 home runs in 7 games with 25 RBI. I've heard a lot about that guy. I forget what his name is. He's a freshman. Oh my God, what team is it? I cannot remember.
I feel like it's ringing a bell, but I couldn't tell you the name either.
That's about all I know about college sports is that guy. Then I know about Vanderbilt and their wristbands, which I hope don't catch on because that kills a whole portion of sports for me. All right. Sports, baseball, college baseball. I'm not usually like this. I'm usually on top of things like this. This is a weird segment for me. I'm excited for this because I'm looking through this stuff now on this page. I'm kind of excited for this. I want to see what happens with the league. I'm going to have to start paying more attention to college sports or, specifically college baseball.
The OU LSU game from 2 days ago was so good. It was such a good game.
I've been getting scores and stuff for the games, but I haven't really. Is it Arkansas that has him? That has this stud of a player? If I can't, no, I don't think it is Arkansas. Oh my Lord. Okay, moving on from that. I'm letting myself consistently get distracted here.
Yes, moving on. Upset games. I'm looking for a little bit further down the rankings is in top 10, but I'm looking for the number 23, 24, 25s to fall out. But the game I'm watching next is the second bout of Georgia Tech. Georgia is ranked 15. Georgia Tech was ranked 18.
2 p.m. today. I'm looking at the games. I just saw that one.
Now, what you're getting with this game, second in the series, Georgia Tech took the first one. You're seeing a rematch of one of the best pitching and defensive performances in the league versus one of the best offensive performances in the league. And Georgia Tech got the better of them the first time, and that's an upset. If they do it twice, I could see Georgia Tech making a big rise and Georgia falling off pretty hard. So that's my upset game.
So looking through these games and what I'm seeing, I'm going to go my upset game, LSU over Texas. LSU's ranked number 7. We just talked about them.
Yeah.
Texas is number
Probably
1.
going to make a leap.
I don't like Texas. So this is my bias tie. I get to be, when I don't know facts, I'm going to be biased. They're playing in Houston, Shriners College Classic, Houston, Texas. Is that not the series that's going on in Minute Maid Park right now?
Yes, that's that one.
I saw some
down
stuff
in Houston.
about that. Yes. So I'm going to go LSU. I'm not sure who they have pitching. I'm looking at their batting averages for this team. Their top 5 guys are all batting over 400. I don't know if they're
crazy.
not hitting or they're not hitting, or if they're just hitting that well. Why not? I'll take LSU over Texas.
There are some ridiculous stat lines in college baseball this year. I know we're not very deep into the season, but there are some ridiculous stat lines.
Yeah, all I've heard about them is the fact that, Sports Center hasn't posted a thing about them since the season started.
Yeah.
Which is also why it's been so hard for me to keep up with them, because no one's posting about them.
I don't know why. Sports Center, what is that tweet? It's like they posted 500 times about other sports, twice about Eminem or someone, and twice about Harry Potter, and nothing about college baseball.
They had Euphoria, the show.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Harry Potter being a Quidditch rule thing, and then nothing about baseball.
Nothing about NCAA baseball. I swear.
I mean,
it's a lot of fun. They really should be talking about it more. But that's why we're here.
Yeah. Talk about a team that's going to take a leap. I'm going Oklahoma.
Hey.
Okay. They're 5-3, 0-0 in the Big 12. They haven't really played anybody. But looking ahead of them, they have UCLA, Tennessee, Dallas Baptist. They play UTSA 3 times.
They get Texas coming up soon. Yeah.
They don't have Texas. They have Baylor before they have Texas. They have Oklahoma State before they have. They don't play Texas until April.
Oof. Okay, maybe not as soon as I was thinking.
Yeah. They don't play conference until March 25th against Baylor. I think they're going to be doing a tournament, I'm assuming, because they're playing New Orleans 3 times, Air Force twice, UTSA 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently in the Shriners College Classic. Oh, they're in the Classic in Houston.
Yeah, that's the same thing. LSU and Texas and Alabama are in.
I
thought they played Texas in that.
No, they apparently are playing UCLA and Tennessee.
Okay.
So looking ahead to their schedule, I'm not sure. I haven't heard. I think Tennessee is a good baseball team from what I've heard about them.
Yeah, they're ranked. They were ranked 17. They were undefeated last time.
They're playing UCLA, Dallas Baptist, UTSA, Air Force, New Orleans. I've never heard really anything about those teams being great baseball-wise.
DBU is a pretty good baseball school.
So we'll see.
Actually, DBU plays UT soon, so that could be another good game to watch.
All right. Looking ahead to that then.
But you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but next topic is, what is the strongest conference in college baseball right now? Based on potential to become the best conference, I'd say it's the Big 12. But right now, the single best conference is probably the SEC.
That's what I was
the Big 12. Yeah. The Big 12 becoming the best conference depends on if Texas and TCU maintain their strong records. If OU and Baylor improve their records come conference play, like you're talking about, and Oklahoma State and Texas Tech don't fall off as hard as they're about to fall off. But the SEC is their biggest competition easily. I think Big 12 could make a push.
I'm looking at the SEC. I had them and then my computer reset and I lost them. 1 second to scroll.
Dude, what is with you and technology today?
Everything hates me. Everything hates me. Just keep talking while I scroll. This is I thought it was in alphabetical order. Okay, there we go. SEC.
Okay.
Alabama, Arkansas is the top team. LSU is a team we're doing really good. Ole Miss. Isn't Arkansas and Ole Miss both top 5 teams right now in the rankings?
Yes.
I just looked at them.
They were actually 3 and 2 respectively.
Yep. And then there's still Vanderbilt, who's 5 right now, I believe.
Mm.
So looking at Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, Arkansas, all within the top 5. Then you include teams like LSU, Tennessee, Texas A&M, who always has a good baseball team. Georgia, like the SEC, I think, is by far the powerhouse when it comes to baseball right now.
Yeah.
Does the Big 12 have that ability to be up there? I think they do, but I don't think anything's really going to be beating out Vanderbilt. Like Texas has to keep a good record, which I never trust Texas with anything good. Oklahoma State, who yet again I never trust with anything good. But teams like Vanderbilt are always ahead of the curve, always very good. Arkansas is doing good. Ole Miss also doing really good this season. I'm kind of excited to look at. I really got to start watching college baseball. I got to start trying to figure out how I can watch some of that.
Now you see why I've been complaining about this for weeks.
I was hoping that I'd start getting more information once it started picking up in the season. I did not.
Nope.
Nobody likes these teams.
Don't know why.
But yeah, college baseball, man, semi-interesting. I actually really have to keep up with this. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, we are literally everywhere in this podcast. This is why the relevancy of a moderator was added to this podcast.
Well, we have one more topic if you want to talk about it.
Sure, we got plenty of time. We're well ahead of the schedule. We're kind of just flying by.
All right. Then I figured we'll end it on talking about OU specifically.
Yeah,
like I said.
Buy it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I missed this in the podcast. We needed more of this. Right. So, lost to LSU, extra innings. It went 11 innings, I think. What I took away was that it was tied 4-4. OU has consistently shown the ability to battle with top teams. It's worth mentioning they are 0-2 against top 25 teams, but they are fighting, right? They're just not over that curve yet. They're not over the hill. OU, go ahead.
If you only play if you're only playing a team, if you've only played top teams like twice, I feel like that's not quite fair to look at. When we see them, like if you said they were like 0-4, 0-5, I get it. If they're competitive 0-2 against top teams, I'm not as opposed to that. Because if they're going to be a top team, they can easily be a top team as long as they just keep it together and figure their stuff out.
Exactly. I'd have to agree with you. I mean, against LSU, OU used less pitching. They kept the game close on less pitching, went into extras. They lost to a solo shot in extra innings by the LSU shortstop, who was 0 for 3 on the day with a walk. He just got a 2-1 pitch he wanted and sent it deep in the left. That's how they lost. That's what I mean. Yeah. That's what I mean when I say it's been close games. It has been close games.
Well, I wouldn't say close. We also have that 14-4 loss to Arizona, apparently.
Well, yeah, but I wasn't going to mention that. This is supposed to be the bias part, Nate. Come on.
I said this earlier. Looking ahead to Oklahoma's schedule, I don't see any team that really terrifies me when I think college baseball. Yet again, I haven't been keeping up a ton, but UCLA, Dallas Baptist, UTSA, Air Force. I'm looking for. You said something good about Dallas Baptist, so maybe they can be tough. Tennessee is I feel like a tough team. Then we play New Orleans, Wichita State. We played Baylor, who I'm kind of looking at. I think going back to Wichita State, I feel like we've played them a few. I feel like I've seen them play. I think
we have.
I don't think we've played them. I've just heard a bit about Wichita State. They're 3-7 right now, so they're not. We did play them. We beat them 6-2.
Yeah, they were our second series, weren't they?
Yes, we played them one game.
So it's kind of I'm kind of with you when you said once April comes around, we'll see if this team is really top 25 caliber.
I mean, yeah, because March 25th, they play Baylor until the 27th. Then they have one game against Oklahoma State. And then literally the start of April 1st, they play Texas for a 3-game series. Between April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Ooh, I'm excited for that.
I think that's going to be really what this team is made of. That's kind of how I feel about like college baseball and Maine baseball. That first month of baseball, you're trying to figure out who you want to start, who looks good in games, trying to figure stuff out. It takes more than 8 games to maybe figure that out. Like if we get around that 10-game mark and we're in like 3-7, then I'm a little bit like, maybe not. If we go into that 10-game and we're 7-3 or 6-4, I'm not all that unexcited about it. Like I'm not crazy upset.
I think that's just that's like you said, yeah, that's baseball as a whole.
I'm excited. I really am. And it's not just the fact that this page is apparently presented by Rapsodo, which I have used before and highly trust. Rapsodo, hey, why don't you give us a sponsor? I've used your stuff before.
No. Hey, Ocean Spray. If we're doing sponsored bits now, I'm pretty sure I drank a cran grape before and after every baseball game in high school. So,
oh man, if we're doing stuff we did before baseball games in high school, hey Advil, hey Elite, I jumped on your stuff. I had that stuff in my bag. I'm pretty sure I still have like a thing in my old baseball bag if I were to go look.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
You know me, Luke. Mid-game, little bit of leg pain, all of a sudden they're down into.
Yep, there's Nick taking his horse pills again.
Hey, whoa. The horse pills weren't me. That was who was that? Was Parks. That was
True,
Parks.
yeah.
Because dad's. What were they, like 200-gram pills? Things the size of like my freaking thumb over there. Just
good times.
Oh, good times. Literally made a guy not feel any pain across his body.
All right. Well, that's all I got for baseball this week.
College baseball.
Should we make bets? Should we make OU Texas bets again with the guys?
Oh, yeah. We definitely need to get Dylan Fine. I don't remember if anyone remembers him from one of our early podcasts. We need to go talk to him. We need to bring him back. We need to bring him back next week. We got to force him to go. No, because we got
Matthew too.
We should be getting Joseph on for hockey next week. By the way, hockey content next week. Maybe. If we can get schedules aligned. Maybe. What we can do. Never big on hockey, but we got a good friend of ours who's really big on hockey. So we'll force him on. We'll find a way. We'll bribe him. Mm-hmm. Luke will bribe him. Luke has money. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to another episode of the All-Star Trio podcast. Apologies if this one seemed kind of random. This is why we need an adult to watch us.
I'm older than both you and Tori.
Yes, but Tori's actually a teacher.
I don't know. I like this format. I like just talking about whatever.
It's chaos. We got to have a little bit of control here. All right. Thank you, everybody. Follow us on all the socials. Make sure to like and follow the podcast. Share with your friends. Share with your enemies. Share with your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your great aunt twice removed. I do not care. Spread the news, spread the word of the great All-Star Trio podcast. You can find us on Spotify and iHeart every week. Every Saturday, we will upload around noonish. YouTube video
when the YouTube goes up, yes, sir.
Whenever Luke finds some time in his busy schedule.
Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, share it, save it to your watch later.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Podcast out.
See ya.